Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight on Stark County with Pam Cook and Gary Rivers.
Welcome back to our Wednesday morning edition of Spotlight on News Talk 1480 WHBC, where this morning we asked the question, Dom, what's my house worth? And we'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. Yes, Dominic Fonte, your Cutler real estate agent, is in the studio this morning. Good morning, Dom.
Good morning, Mr. Rivers. How you doing today?
Doing pretty well this morning. You always come prepared. Looks like he's got statistics. He's got information. And you've got every house that's available for sale here in Stark County and beyond, either in your head or just probably a couple clicks away, right?
Pretty much. I just want to make sure that your listeners and viewers get a show-packed day.
Yeah.
I want to make sure they walk away with some good, valuable, usable information.
Well, they absolutely will this morning. By the way, we are on Facebook Live this morning, and if you want to check us out and follow along with that, that's always fun, and we're ready to roll. So, Dominic Fonte, I love talking with you about real estate because you always get an education and remind me how little I know about real estate. But let me ask you, I started off with, Dom, what's my house worth? And that's because you have a website that's called that.
I do. So a lot of times, whenever I go throughout my day, people were always curious about what the values are doing, what the real estate market's doing. Mm-hmm. And so I have a tool. It's a landing page. So if you go to whatsmyhouseworth.com and put in your address, it's basically a computer model I have that you can gather about 20, 30 pages of information, and it's a radius around your home. Or even if you're just looking for a neighborhood that you're interested in, if you put an address in there, it'll pull data. Now, it's not an exact science because it's an algorithm. Mm-hmm. So usually, the algorithms haven't been inside your home, so they don't know the upgrades, the updates, and all that. They just pull basic data. So it's really a neat tool to use, and you can get a quick thumbnail sketch of what's happening. Now, for a more accurate picture, obviously, I would need to come out and then we could look at it and go that route.
But from this standpoint, if you're thinking of selling your home, you can tell, my neighbor's home, it's kind of like mine. What's it selling for or could be selling for? And you get a great idea of what you should be asking, right?
Well, if nothing else, it shows you what the neighbors' houses are selling for. And I think a lot of times, we don't move so often, but it's always nice to keep track of if the values are going up, if the values are going down. And I think, it's a strong, most of our population that owns homes, that's the biggest asset they have. Mm-hmm. So I think they're always interested in making sure that that asset is going in a positive direction, the mortgage is getting paid down, because at the end of it all, that's really their asset to live on in their older years or pass it on to their family through inheritance.
All right. So what we're going to attempt to do this hour is convince everybody that if you want to sell your home or you're going to buy a home, contact Dom.
I highly recommend it.
Okay. Me too. And here's why. Let's talk about the economy right now. I had a gentleman on earlier this week who talked about real estate rates have just nosedived. And that's a good thing if you probably want to maybe refinance your home. Let's talk about refinancing for a moment. Is this the best time to do it?
Right now, there's a huge amount of activity in refinance because since the first of the year, the rates dropped 1 full percentage point. And so if we were looking at last quarter, the last half of last year, they were estimating the rates to be in the 5s by the end of this year, which they were up quite a bit, 4.75.
Yeah, it was moving up.
It was close to 5% the first part of the year. Then there's a lot of talk now about recession. And that would be consumer confidence. It would be a couple consecutive months of slow GDP. But at this point, honestly, when I look at the numbers, and I brought a lot of stats, more current stats, so I could try to get my arms around this and try to articulate it the best I can to your audience.
All right. So if you are looking at your home, and boy, if you got in, 10, 15 years ago, it was 8 or 9%, right? Or more.
Well, honestly, right now, it's one of the best times to buy since 1980 as far as the affordability. Now, it's more expensive this year than last year. But if you look at, before the boom and bust and statistically look at those averages, I mean, honestly, it is so much better now because the rates dropped 1%. Our incomes, not everybody's income, but in general, there's income increases. And then the affordability, like, so when you go get a loan at the bank, they're going to look at your income, your gross income. They're going to look at your outgo, which would be maybe a car loan or credit cards or student debt.
Or rent if you're renting.
Right. But the rent would be replaced by your house payment. So the traditional conventional loans look at 28% on the front end and 36% on the back end. And what I mean by that is if you take your gross monthly rent times 28%, that's normally on a conservative side of what they look at that you can use for your housing allowance. But the average is, for many, many years was 21% and is actually, I think it's like around 16.6% right now, which is, statistically 21% of your gross income is always allotted for housing. However, there's many programs out there that'll let you go a bit higher. But from being a conservative standpoint, it's like 16.6% of your income to what the average is spending now for their house payment, which is really pretty conservative now.
Yeah. All right. So all that means is a good time to buy a home.
It's an excellent time. But what part of the issue I'm hearing now is that, yes, there's less inventory. The prices have been going up. And so if you're not educated on all the facts, it makes you think like, wow, maybe this isn't a good time because we're paying too much now for the houses. And we might, remind us a little bit of the crash. Yeah, which is not the case at all.
Well, what's better, a lower interest rate or a higher price at the front end?
Well, keep in mind they look at a few variables, which would be the interest rate, because when you're buying a payment, unless you're paying cash, which most of the people have to get a loan,
sure,
and it's either a 15 or a 30, let's say. Well, you're locking that in for a long period of time at a much lower rate, so the cost of your money is much more affordable. And then on top of that, you have, yes, the rates or the house prices are going up some, but the rate just dropped 1 full percentage point. And if it drops a little bit more, it'll be the lowest it's been in like 20 years. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic, and it's hard to understand all of it. But I mean, I have a lot of information and resources showing graphs and breaking it down. It's hard to do it, of course, on the show.
Sure.
But if anybody's interested in knowing more, I'll be more than happy to email you information, resources. So we'll do the best we can to muddle through it today and make sure that you're an informed decision maker, regardless if you're thinking buying, selling, or investing, or even renting, or just sitting tight.
All right. Well, I think the important thing most people want to know is, are there houses available right now?
Of course.
And there always are houses available, but are they still going as fast, selling within a week or two?
Well, if it's three things that affect that: location, which is a given, condition, and price. The sellers, when they want to sell their home, they want to talk to a knowledgeable professional so they make an informed decision. I think a lot of times the sellers think they can always come down, but they can't go up, so let's start way up here. So that's usually a mistake. You always want to price it. Like if you understand, like let's say you live in a specific area and you think you have a specific price range, what your professional should do is check out that local market, not national, local, and see what the average days on market, the average list to sell ratio, which means if you're asking, $1 and you get 97% of that or 97 cents, there's roughly a 3% negotiations. So if you price it 20% or 10% above the average, then you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Got it.
And then nowadays, everybody's so sensitive about market time. So the first question I always get is, how long has this been on the market? Now, if it's on the market longer and it appears to be priced correctly and in good condition, good location, I could bet money that if I check the history on it, they started way too high, and after 60, 90 days, they came
finally started dropping the price a little bit. Right?
I think every seller, they put blood, sweat, and tears. They raise their families, and let's face it, our houses are important to us.
Sure.
And so it's hard just to feel like you're giving it away. So I think truly, if you are educated about the current market in the given time that you're thinking about, selling. So a lot of times what people will do is they'll say, hey, Dom, kids are in college, one's going to be graduating, one's getting married. We have a larger home. We don't really need all that space. And I'm thinking about moving to either a villa, a condo, or maybe a one-floor plan. And this is not, they don't usually make the decision to do it today. They want to get information so they can prepare, because when you're at that part of life, you have to be very cautious about your assets. some are in the stock market, some are in Social Security,
Sure.
some are maybe in your real estate, which is usually the largest investment. So I think it's just a matter of being educated so that you can, strategically plan it with less stress,
Right.
and have a good guide.
But that's why they have to talk to you, or should talk to you, because then you at least give them all the options and tell them what's good, what's bad. Wait a minute, wait, careful about this.
Well, what happens a lot of times, I think, since most buyers and sellers do the process 3 to 5 times, if they're lucky in their whole life, the average is 3 to 4 times from age 25 to 75. But it's a scary thing, and a lot of times I'll get people ask me, "Hey, Dom, before we have you come out, we see your name around. What's your fee?" So that tells me that they're really concerned about the fee more than the net. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times I have to educate them, and not all agents are created equal, obviously. I mean, I've been doing it 31 years. I've helped nearly 2,000 families, so I kind of have it down pretty well. And I think what happens is they look at the percentage, like, one's a little less, one's a little more. And I always try to explain to them, don't step over $1 to pick up a nickel. Because at the end of the day, if the fee is the fee and you have an expert in your corner, then your net is probably going to be a lot better in the long run, even if you do feel like you're paying a little bit more on the service side. But you get what you pay for, to be honest with you.
I mean, I guess that's kind of a saying that probably goes not only in real estate, but almost anything you do. My dad always says, you get what you pay for, and it's really true.
It's very true.
All right, it's 15 minutes after 9. Well, we're going to come back in just a few moments with Dominic Fonte and learn more about buying or selling your home, and we'll get into some of the specifics of the marketplace now, and maybe why Dom should be the guy you talk to when we come back.
Liking, posting, sharing, and commenting. Come get social with us.
I do like you very much.
Just click on the link at WHBC.com.
This is the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
By Hill at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone goes Hill on a one-handed grab from 36 yards away.
Ohio State begins the 2019 season Saturday, August 31st as they host Florida Atlantic. We'll be on the air from Ohio Stadium beginning at 10:30 a.m. with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show, followed by the kickoff at noon.
On your home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1480 WHBC Sports.
Carpet Time's the place to buy. Go there today. You'll cheer and rave at the money you save. Buy at Carpet Time.
Hi, I'm Joel Primack. For 1 week only, Carpet Time is having a giant store-wide flooring sale. Sale prices on hundreds of carpets, dozens of floors, plus no interest for 1 full year. Choose the carpet, Berber, plush, texture, or frisee. Choose the flooring, wood, laminate, vinyl, or ceramic tile. Hurry in for the best selection. Visit us at Lincoln Way East at Genoa Road or Belton Village Street across from Red Lobster. Here at Carpet Time, we don't meet competition, we make it.
Buy at Carpet Time.
Visit us at our Perry Maslin store on the corner of Lincoln Way and Genoa, or at our Belton Village store across from Red Lobster. Like us on Facebook or online at carpettime.com. One word, one T, that's carpettime.com.
Attention knee pain sufferers. Does the thought of having to get up from your chair make you wince? Do you hate walking up or down stairs? Have you been told you need surgery? If you've tried pain medication or physical therapy and nothing seems to work, Beneficial Health may have the solution for you. They use a revolutionary, all-natural treatment that doesn't involve medication or surgery. It's called the fluoroscopic image-guided viscosupplement treatment procedure. It's an X-ray guided procedure that allows doctors to place a cushioning gel directly into the joint to stop the bones from grinding together. And it's covered by most major insurances, even Medicare. Call Beneficial Health today at 330-295-2940 and schedule your free no-obligation knee pain screening. Call 330-295-2940. Remember, it's covered by most insurance, even Medicare. Call 330-295-2940.
Our pets are as precious to us as our family. They greet us happily when we come home. They provide us with a sense of companionship and are always by our sides. It's been said that a pet's life is a percentage of our lives, but we are all of their lives. It hurts terribly when we lose our fur babies. Hi, this is Joe Packley with the Packley Pet Crematory. In 2012, we opened our pet crematory separately from our human crematory to take care of families who have suffered the loss of a pet. Every pet is taken into our care with love and respect that they deserve. Our promise to each family that your pet will be cremated one pet at a time, and you can be assured that the cremated remains returned to you are those of your pet only. Cost is based on the weight of your pet and includes a container. For more information, visit our website at packley.com or call us at 330-833-3222, 330-833-3222.
Gary Rivers at home with Dominic Fonte, your local Cutler Realtor. If you're thinking about selling your home right now, is it a good time?
It's a great time because we have a low inventory of homes. So we're heading into the summer market, so this is a perfect time with only 2.6 months of inventory, which means there's a pent-up demand. The rates are about 4.1%. It's a perfect time to sell. I would recommend reaching out to me, and let's just start the process, get informed about what you need to do so we can get her done.
You have some booklets that might be for the person who's not sure they want to make that step yet.
You have to get informed about your decision, learn about it, and then make the steps necessary. If you send me a text or call me at 330-418-1535, it's about a 30-page color brochure that has all good common sense tips for buying or selling.
If you're thinking of buying or you're thinking of selling, seriously, contact Dominic Fonte today. How do they do it?
You can reach me at 330-418-1535 or send me an email at dominic@dominicfonte.com.
Before you know it, we're all going to be saying Pizza Hut. Hut, hut. There's nothing better than having your favorites from Pizza Hut on game day. And now there's a new $5 and up lineup. Let's go! Win on three. 1, 2, 3. Pizza, pasta, and wings, just $6. And pan pizza, only $1 more. Some items only $5. Must buy two. Great combos. Pizza Hut and baseball. Pizza Hut and football. Now with $5 and up lineups. Check out pizzahut.com. Football season is on the way, so shout out loud. Pizza Hut. Hut, hut.
Welcome back to Spotlights. News Talk 1480, WHBC. Talking to Dominic Fonte, your local Cutler real estate agent who is in the studio this morning. Hey, I want to go to your website, dominicfonte.com, for a moment because, you know, when you're thinking about buying a home, and it's always that big fear. If you know a real estate agent, I think you feel pretty comfortable if you know them and your friends. And is that how you start off when you're selling real estate, Don? You've got your friends and they kind of go, oh, I trust you.
Well, you know, this was 31 years ago. I didn't know anybody, so it was just friends and family the first year or so. But honestly, once you learn the trade and you learn how to better service your customers, depending on if it's a buyer or seller, to me, I prefer, just like when I do things, no matter what it is, I really try to go by recommendations. And sometimes, you know, with the technology today, Google, I always kind of do a second check. So I'll Google their name and kind of look at them, look at their reviews if they have them.
Yeah, well, there are reviews. I think we all have kind of gotten into that habit of checking Google reviews and even Facebook reviews.
Right.
And so I thought it was great. You go to your website, you can see different people, and these are customers of yours.
Correct.
Who have bought houses or sold houses through you, and they pretty much tell the story. And you can just do that online at Google and just type in your name and you'll
right.
Get all
so
of those.
You can go to Dominic Fonte and just Google. There's videos, there's reviews, there's all kinds of information that might be educational. But if you just want to read reviews quickly, you can go to dominicfonte.com, click on reviews. I believe there's around 200, 4.9 star. I wish it was 5, but it is what it is. But if you read them, it'll help you understand what you would expect working with me and my team.
Well, and I think that's the important thing is you get to kind of get that feel. Best thing when you go, because we actually have a short segment here, just a couple minutes to talk. Buying and selling a home, maybe let's just break it down on buying. Best thing to do is really sit down with you ahead of time. Well before you're ready, or maybe right when you're serious about it.
This is what would be my recommendation. So it's like anything. You think about something, then you plan something, and then you execute or do it, right? So to be able to be the smartest, informed decision maker, I would highly recommend a short meeting with me and my team. And what we do is we have a spreadsheet that we show you the process in a 15-step format, something you can take away. And this format will help you to sort of understand what's next, what's next, so that at least that way there, it helps you to prepare better. And then we give you step 1, step 2, step 3, in what order to do it, so that when the time comes that you're ready to make that decision, that you feel peace in your heart. Because a lot of times, this isn't like buying a belt or a pair of shoes. I mean, this is a big deal. And it's a lot of money, and it's scary. And I want to make sure that we walk you through that process so emotionally and financially you're prepared. And that way there you feel very good about their experience. And you'll see the difference of what I have to offer versus the majority of the competition.
All right, because you do handhold all the way through the process. And what about recommendations? Because you're one big cog in the home buying process, but there's others you have to go through, right? Where you get your mortgage?
Correct. So you have several things to think about. So, for example, you first of all have to decide, are you mentally ready and financially ready to do this? And then there's a few steps. Do I have to sell first, buy first, or am I renting? That kind of thing. So we would get you qualified at your comfort. So the bank may say you can afford $1 million home, but obviously you'd like to go out to eat once in a while, maybe take a trip.
They always seem to make it seem like it's
right.
It's like I don't understand what the purpose of that is, because
I have no idea.
It's just kind of like, well, you really want to stay about, say, $250,000. And they say you're good for $350,000, but if you look at what that mortgage would be, it's like, why would I do that to myself?
Well, I think for real, you have to look at what your comfort zone is. So we do the pluses and minuses based on where you, or if you're married, or if you have a partner, you would just figure out between the two of you, or three of you, or whatever the case may be, what is your comfort zone? What's important to you? What are my wants? What are my needs? You won't get everything, so we figure out the priority list, and then we figure out the qualifications, what you can afford, what you're comfortable paying, because you can afford one thing, but may only be comfortable paying another thing. So we want to make sure we blend that hybrid of what you're mentally, and you could sleep at night and feel like you're not house poor. So I'm all about making sure that you're a happy camper, because if I make you happy by doing a good thing, educating you, then you'll probably refer me to your friends and family.
Well, and so the best thing, make the phone call. Just have a seat. There's no obligation to sit down and talk with you.
No, and once you meet me and meet my group, you'll see you're totally at ease. But I understand it's like people are always trying to sell you something, and your guard's always up. My approach is totally different. As the heart of a teacher, I'm always educating, and I don't always look at commission. I mean, I'm doing what's best for my client. In the long run, it always seems to benefit, though, because I work with a lot of customers.
Sure.
And honestly, I get referred. Most of my business is referral, and that wouldn't happen if you didn't have the heart of a teacher. So it always has to be in the best interest of the client, regardless of what I think about it. If it's not in the best interest of the client, it's not going to happen.
Got it. All right, it's 26 minutes after 9. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with our second half of Spotlight with Dominic Fonte.
Liking, posting, sharing, and commenting. Come get social with us.
I do like you very much.
Just click on the link at WHBC.com.
The Indians just stay on a roll.
There's just a good energy going in our dugout right now.
Bullseye, there it is. Strike 3 called. Shane Bieber.
Definitely the two new guys are generating a lot of excitement for us.
Yasiel Puig with his first RBI as an Indian, and he looks locked in.
We're just in one of those grooves where we're expecting to win every day.
Tonight from the Big Apple, the Cleveland Indians taking on the New York Mets. Pregame at 6:35 on 1480 WHBC Sports.
As an organ donor, your story doesn't have to end. The good in you can live on. In fact, you could save up to 8 lives and restore sight and health for many more. Sign up right now online as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. You'll be happy you did, and just maybe someone else will be happy too. Go to organdonor.gov. It saves lives. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
Hear residents' thoughts on senior independent living at the Waterford.
When I came, I just felt totally at home. I was sure this was the place for me, and I had no regrets about selling my home. I have never, ever met a nicer group of people.
The Waterford is what I had hoped that I would find, and I found it. Our dinner table is hilarious.
It It really is. I have fun every night. I look forward to dinner. I leave here at night, go to bed feeling happy.
Oh, yeah.
No.
To me, it's like a cousins. It's just a camaraderie here at the Waterford that is, we just help each other.
We do.
And when it's something comfortable.
Within a couple of weeks, I had a lot of friends. Everyone has been so nice, so warm, so friendly.
Call Yvonne Heron for more information. 330-966-5643.
Hey, it's Gary Rivers. You know, more appliances break down in summer than any other season. The heat stresses your fridge, washer, dryer, and dishwasher, causing them to work harder. Who knows when your appliances will suddenly break down? But I know where to go when they do. Home Appliance Company. They carry all the major brands, and their staff will get you into what you need. And if anything goes wrong, you can count on Home Appliance Company for service. Home Appliance Company, 406 North Erie Street, Massillon. Online at homeapplianceco.net.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
This is John Mariel with Verndale's Water Center. There's never been a better time to improve your water. Right now, we have 0% financing on all of our water systems. Isn't it time you gave your family the gift of great water?
Verndale's Water Center.
Gary Rivers at home with Dominic Fonte, your local Cutler realtor. So you have a website for folks to look up what their property might be worth.
Right. So you can go to whatsmyhouseworth.com, and it'll just walk you through a few quick steps. And within a minute, you're going to get a full color report, 20, 30 pages of information around your house in vicinity that's on the market, under contract, or have closed. Give you a good ballpark of what the values are doing at any time.
How many folks do you have who have given you 5-star reviews?
I think it's up around 200. You can go to DominicFonte.com and scroll down. You'll see all the reviews. When you read through the reviews, it shows you the pattern on how the agent operates. And I want to make sure that at the end of the experience that you'll feel good enough with the experience that you'll give me a 5-star review.
All right, let's get them started right away. How do they get a hold of you?
You can reach me at 330-418-1535 or send me an email at dominic@dominicfonte.com.
WHBC AM 10, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, pro-choice advocates have asked a federal judge to strike down and permanently block an Ohio measure known as the Heartbeat Bill. Activists are calling on Juul to halt the sale of flavored e-cigarettes, arguing it encourages young people and children to vape. Juul says they've already gotten the message. They pulled flavored pods from more than 90,000 stores nationwide last November. Experts have been warning about copycats following the shootings in El Paso and Dayton. They say they have stopped 3 more planned attacks this week. A Stark County school district banning the use of cell phones during the school day. It's happening in Massillon. Washington high school officials say they want to create a better learning environment. They are still cleaning up after that fire that took place at the Walnut Creek Amish Flea Market in Sugar Creek earlier this morning. They are saying that embers are still smoldering, traffic trying to get through on 39, but they are still investigating to figure out what that cause of that fire might be. More news coming up at 10 o'clock. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Clouds will vary today. Could pick up a shower or thunderstorm. It'll be a high today of 86. Partly cloudy, humid tonight, low 65. For tomorrow, lower humidity and not as warm. Sun and clouds, high 75. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy, shower or thunderstorm, low 57. Friday, sunny to partly cloudy, and the high again 75. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Welcome back to Spotlight, our second half with Dominic Fonte, your local Cutler real estate agent in the studio with us this morning. I always get an education when I talk to Dom about buying and selling. Let's talk a little bit about changing as your life changes as you get older. We've talked about this a lot, and many times we have listeners who are 40 plus, who are, the kids are now out of the home or getting ready to go, and like you had kind of alluded to earlier, do I need to maybe get into a smaller home or whatever? There's a process for that, just like there is for buying a home, and maybe even more difficult.
It is more difficult because you'll find as you get older, sometimes you get grumpier, sometimes your patience is less.
He looked at me when he said that. Did you notice that?
Well,
I'm just kidding.
I mean, you look pretty young, but I know your real age.
Exactly.
But anyhow, as you get older, it's more frustrating to do stuff, and in your mind, you have all these ideas, these things you want to do, but the energy's not there, and it's frustrating. And then your kids are married or off, and you don't want to burden them with the worry, but honestly, you really do need some help. And even if you don't think you need help, there's so part of the thing that I do is, a lot of times they're going to say, well, we have 40 years worth of stuff. Do you know someone for a tag sale? Or do you have a trash hauler that, could take some things away? Or possibly we need to do some painting, or we need to do some other improvements. Yeah. And they don't have the patience or the wherewithal to deal with it. So a lot of times what I do as part of my service is I'll just walk them through what we should do, in what order we should do it, and how we can execute it.
And you do a lot of the work for them, too. I mean, in reality.
I coordinate everything. And so I'm just trying to, I didn't really mean to do this initially, but it ended up being that now over the last few years, it just seems like there's a higher level of service that people want and expect. And it just evolved into that. So since I do this a lot, I have a list of, handymen, painters, trash haulers, carpet people.
All those things, folks that you work with that you know and trust.
Yeah, because think about it, a lot of times the buyers today, they like HGTV, Pinterest, house. And so sometimes there's some basic things we would want to do to your home to give us the biggest bang for the buck. And that might be painting, light fixtures, maybe some flooring.
So, and you don't want to recommend somebody that's going to end up with a bad taste in your client's life. Right?
I have the people that operate like I do, and if I get a bad report, they come off the list.
Really?
Yeah.
So, that says everything right there. All right. Also, you had mentioned in a previous conversation that many times folks may think they need to wind down, sell, or go somewhere, and it ends up, when they sit down and talk with you, maybe it's just doing a little bit of fix up and getting it set for you. Maybe you have mobility issues now.
This happened to me several times, and this is what really the heart of the agent should be doing for you is it's what's in your best interest, even if you're not sure of it yet. So I had several occasions where I had retirees call me where they were having some health issues, and they were in their home for 40 years. And it was a one-floor plan. So when I looked at the home, really what the issue was, they couldn't get into the tub because they couldn't safely get their leg up, and they didn't have a first-floor laundry. So what we ended up doing, instead of selling and moving and going through all the financial stress, emotional stress, and worry, we ended up figuring out a way to take one of the closets, put a stackable washer and dryer, and then we took the tub out and put a handicap accessible shower in with grab bars, and now this person was able to live affordably in their home for another 8 to 10 years.
And it's the house that they are comfortable with. That's the other thing. As you get older, sometimes that's my home. I don't want to leave it. My parents were like that. They've been there for 30 years. I'm not getting out of it.
They say the only way I'm getting out is feet first. and I always get a chuckle out of that. But honestly, when you get frustrated, when you start thinking about it, and then you try to plan it, I think sometimes it's overwhelming. You throw your hands up, say the heck with it.
When's a condo good for somebody? I often wonder about that as you get older, too. Many times, is it I don't want to do the lawn anymore, and they're going to take care of all of that, but the expenses?
It's partly that. So the example I gave you about the folks that wanted to move to a condo because they were trying to get away from the maintenance and also a first-floor bathroom that they could access with the shower. But they would have had to pay a maintenance fee, a monthly, what they call it, a HOA fee.
You're paying for it one way or another anyway.
And I said, since you're comfortable in your own home, the home's paid for, you might be able to spend, say, $7,000, renovate these issues, and stay there for many more years. And it's in your comfort zone. So a lot of times that is the case. So that's what you need to do is have a conversation and try to get to the bottom of it. Because in this example, the husband's the one that wanted to move because he was struggling with the work, and the wife really didn't want to move, but she was just letting him kind of drive it. But then once we got to the bottom of it, it was a happy reunion for both of them once we figured out a solution to their problem.
Well, and that, I guess, goes back to the original statement. You got to know your real estate agent and let you help them through the process, because you're not there to just help yourself. It's really all about helping the client.
So it comes down to trust, likability, and trust. So if I trust my advisor, that means that my advisor is advising me what's best for me, not best for them. And so I think just human nature is we're always skeptical. Someone's going to try to sell me something I don't want. And I get that. I mean, I'm the same way. I check things out. I'm very cautious. So I have a sensitivity to that because I understand that that's the way people typically think. So that's why you want to deal with someone that's trustworthy, loyal, helpful, that kind of thing. And so that would be my advice, is someone that has a reputation, someone that has good reviews, someone that's trustworthy, and someone that will put your best interest first. And that's how I do it.
All right. And also, you come with gifts, if you will, to prepare people coming up in the fall. You've got this booklet. Is this like the first edition of it now?
Okay, so
coming up in the fall?
So here's what we have. The market's always shifting, so you always have to be thinking about, nationally I hear recession. Nationally I hear we might be going into another bubble. Nationally I hear, all these things. But you know what? Honestly, the real estate or your experience matters what happens locally, like in your neighborhood. So real estate's local. Remember that, number one. So get educated. So what I have are, and I'll just show it on the camera, I have 2 books. So September 1, these books get updated. So there's a selling guide and a buying guide. And it's about 20 pages of color. And I'm telling you right now, it is jam-packed with good information. It's basically a little bit more in depth because it's obviously hard to do it on the radio show. But in September 1, the new books come out, and it's a download, or we can email it to you. So if you want, send me an email if you're interested in either the buying guide or the selling guide. And again, this is 20 pages packed full. It's an awesome resource. And believe me, I've been doing this 30 years, and when I read it and it checks my box off, then I know it's going to be good for you.
All right, you said to email you. What's your email?
Dominic at DominicFonte.com, spelled DOMINIC at DOMINIC, F as in Frank, ONTE.com. So it's Dominic at DominicFonte.com.
Awesome. All right, so I wanted to make sure we got that out to everybody so that they know that that's available as well. But again, let's go back to some of the statistics now as well, because you say now prices are a little higher than they were even 6 months ago.
That's correct.
But the interest rates have gone down dramatically. By the way, what caused the interest rates to go down?
It's basically fear, because they believe, and this is what part of the problem is. We've been in the longest recovery in the stock market for a period of time.
Oh my God, it's been forever.
Right.
Right?
So what goes up usually comes down. So it's no big surprise we're going to have a correction. But like it's emotionally driven, which is what irritates me about that, is if something is said or tweeted, then sometimes, or they're talking about trade, or they're talking about anything like that.
Well, it's like the stock market, the jump up and then the crash down and then the move back up. And it's all emotional as opposed to logically going, hey, I've got a job. I'm making more today than I was yesterday, and everybody's buying my products or using my services. So what's wrong with this picture?
Well, it's emotionally driven, which is where the mistakes fall. So you got to look at the logic of it. So I have all the statistics about the real estate market. Now, whenever there's a recession, which we always go through them, and if you look at the recessions over the last 4 recessions, the real estate values really never dropped much until the distressed property market happened in 2008. Then the property values
What's
dropped.
a distress market?
That would be when in 2008, basically it started in July of 2007.
Okay.
But in 2008 is when the stock market tanked, and the tsunami of panic amplified everything. And everything kind of went south, okay? Then the people that had homes that had a little bit of equity in them, the values dropped 20-30%.
And they thought, oh my gosh, all that investment is gone.
Right, so they're upside down on their mortgage. So what they did is they walked away from them, which then lowered the value of it. So they called that distressed, or it became a short sale, which means they're trying to sell it for less than it's owed on it. And it's a complicated process, but that lowered the values of a lot of the other real estate. So it dropped all the values of the real estate
So not
market.
only those that were distressed, it was others around.
It
that ended
forced,
up-
like, let's say you're making your payments and you're good, but the neighbor goes into foreclosure. That affects your value. And so now that has all gone because we had 10 months of supply. Now we're back to 2.5 months supply, which means we're in a very strong seller's market. Now, of course, you could have $1 million home, which may not be in the seller's market.
Right.
But if you're in between 100 and 250 or 220, that's the buying population in that segment of the purchasing. Now, of course, each area and time of year and interest rate, there's other factors.
Right.
But in general, the factors are really good. The only thing that's happening, though, is they anticipate in the next 18 months a recession. And all the recession means is the GDP, there's like 2 months of a little bit slower growth. But what's happening now is with the recovery we've had, a lot of the people are earning a little bit more money. The rate dropped 1% in the last 8 months. So even though the values of the properties have gone up 4 or 5 or 6%, which is, scary, it makes it seem like, well, maybe I can't afford it. But actually, it's still more affordable now than it was 20 years ago.
Simply because your payments are going to be
more affordable.
More affordable.
That's correct. And again, we're not going to 36% or 28%. It's 16.6% of your gross income is the average for your housing allowance.
All right, so you can you do that math yourself.
It's
Best thing
awesome.
to do is I don't even want to do the math. I want you to do the math for me.
Well, you just let me know if you have any questions. And like I said, we can meet for a little bit, 10, 15 minutes. We can talk on the phone. I can send you a video. I mean, there's all kinds of good information depending on where you are. So if you'd like to talk on the phone, reach me at 330-418-1535, 418-1535, or send me an email at dominic@dominicfonte.com. If you just want more information, just kind of look me up. Google my name, Dominic Fonte. I have lots of informational videos. There's reviews. There's all kinds of information you can learn that way, or go to my website at dominicfonte.com.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with our final segment with Dominic Fonte.
Liking, posting, sharing, and commenting. Come get social with us.
I do like you very much.
Just click on the link at WHBC.com.
We kick off our 75th season of high school football here on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Worked hard all offseason in the weight room and are continuing that right now.
It'll be fun, and we'll go out and then we'll battle like crazy.
It's old school, it comes down to blocking and tackling.
So we're just going to keep fighting for it and keep striving for it. That's the name of the game.
The Sarchone Ford Radio Games of the Week. Thursday, August 29th, it's Perry and Central. Friday, August 30th, it's Harding and McKinley.
We are your home when it comes to high school football coverage.
Appreciate all the work you guys do. 1480 WHBC Sports.
Hi, Gary Rivers here, at home with Dominic Fonte, your local Cutler Realtor. I got to ask you, on the real estate market, what's it like now?
Well, it depends on what part of the market you're in. Are you thinking of buying, selling, investing, or renting? Now, I have these two special guides. One's pertaining to buying, one's pertaining to selling. So if you go ahead and send me a text at 330-418-1535 with your email, I'll send you the 30-page download. It's a colored booklet, has a lot of good information. Or if you'd like a quick ballpark price evaluation, go to my website. Just go whatsmyhouseworth.com, put in the address and the information. It'll send you a quick report within a minute.
What's the importance of knowing the value of your home?
There's the price. There's what do I need to do in preparation for selling. I mean, the idea is how do we affordably get the house ready to leverage our dollars in the most efficient manner?
If you're looking to buy a home, looking to sell your home, go to Dominic Fonte. How do they get a hold of you?
You can reach me directly at 330-418-1535 or send me an email at dominic@dominicfonte.com.
Head on out to the Canton Farmers Market every Saturday from 8 to 11:30 a.m., rain or shine, for the area's freshest local produce, baked goods, meats, cheeses, flowers, local art, and so much more. You can find the Canton Farmers Market on the corner of 4th Street Northwest and McKinley Avenue Northwest in downtown Canton. Each week there's something new, from children's art classes and gardening tips to entertainment and more. Visit CantonFarmersMarket.com for all current events. See you at the market.
Want to turn your old, rusty hunk of junk in for a nicer ride, but think it's not even worth a tank of gas? Think again. Progressive Jeep Ram will give you $5,000 for your trade, no matter the condition. That's right, $5,000 for any trade, guaranteed. When you buy any factory-certified pre-owned car, truck, or sport utility at Progressive Jeep Ram in Massillon. Needs repairs? No problem. Any rusty, smelly, noisy hunk of junk gets you $5,000 guaranteed. $5,000 could help you get approved. No other dealer will give you $5,000 for your cruddy car, but Progressive Jeep Ram will, guaranteed. Get $5,000 for your trade only at Progressive Jeep Ram in Massillon.
One trade per purchase. Offer applies to Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram certified vehicles only. Does not apply to prior transactions and cannot be combined with any other advertised offer. See dealer for details. Ends August 31st, 2019.
Get $5,000 for your trade only at Progressive Jeep Ram in Massillon.
Sarcoma. Odds are you've never heard that word before. For the 40 people diagnosed with sarcoma every day, it is a life-changing word because sarcoma is cancer. Through awareness, advocacy, and research, the Sarcoma Foundation of America is bringing hope to the families whose lives have been turned upside down by a cancer they had never heard of until diagnosis. Please join us in the fight to find the cure for sarcoma. For more information on the work of the Sarcoma Foundation of America, go to curesarcoma.org.
I'm just about ready to go back to school, so my mom's finishing her shopping list at Walgreens. They have everything we need at great prices. This week, you can get deals on bubbly 12-ounce 8-packs just 3 for $9.99. And Gatorade 20-ounce 4-packs only 2 for $4.99. I love this stuff for my lunchbox. Stop into Walgreens for all your back-to-school must-haves. Deals valid with your card through August 31st. Quantities are limited. Walgreens, trusted since 1901.
Liven up the start to your weekend at the Moonlight Market this Friday at Hartville Marketplace and Flea Market. You'll be entertained with free live music from Michael Kelly Band, Cody Marshall, and Saxy Rob. Enjoy food truck fare from local favorites Euro and Amish Donuts. Browse over 100 handcrafted and artisan booths for one-of-a-kind finds and live demos sure to delight. There's something for everyone at the Moonlight Market this Friday, 6 to 10 at Hartville Marketplace.
Welcome back to our final segment of Spotlight. Of course, if you've been watching at home on Facebook Live, we're doing that as well, talking with Dominic Fonte, your local Cutler real estate agent. Boy, you have a lot of services you do for buying and selling. You were just telling me about a gentleman who found you online and had to relocate here. You do those relocation services.
Absolutely. He came from Louisiana, went online, read the reviews, and called us and wanted to work with us. And we helped him out, and we just secured a house for him over the weekend.
Well, what happens if I want to move to Florida? Do you help me with that as well?
We do.
Really?
We have basically we have a network we belong to. So once I understand the city or the town or jurisdiction where you want to be, we would then connect you up with a local agent that's an expert in that jurisdiction and area, and then put the two of you together. So you at least have someone, instead of going blind and looking around on the internet, you can go with a referral.
Well, that's the scariest thing in the world. You're sitting there and you go to Florida, or you're coming here. They don't know what neighborhood. They don't know what, well, I want to live in, you don't know.
Well, you know what I run into a lot, and this is just the way it is now because of technology, is a lot of the people, they'll go to third-party aggregates like Zillow, Trillia, Realtor.com.
Right.
And part of it is that, and I get this a lot, where they'll say, well, we're just looking on our own. We really don't want to work with anybody. And they're really at a disadvantage because in order for them to get the most up-to-date information, they need to be tied into the gold standard, which is through the multiple listing service. But they go to Zillow, which is 40% inaccurate, and then they get frustrated. But I think what it is they're afraid that someone's going to bug them or try to sell them something.
Right.
And I guess maybe there's probably people out there.
Well, it's that natural fear. It's the used car salesman thing that we always have it in our back of our mind. Sorry, used car salesman. I'm sure you're a really nice guy, but that's the stereotype.
That's the perception,
right?
And obviously, the perception isn't always the reality. So I'm trying to dispel any myths that trusted, loyal advisor. So whatever you're doing, no matter what trade you're looking at, you need a trusted advisor. Because that way there you're going to get the straight scoop on what's going on.
All right. And when you're going to sell your home, you actually help them market the home, right? Is that another part of your job?
Well, I mean, obviously, let's say from the eyes of the seller, a lot of times everything is fine. We don't really need to do
Right,
anything.
it's a perfect home. Look at this.
And then through the eyes of the rosy-colored glasses of the buyer who happen to watch HGTV, Pinterest, House, and all that. So there's a hybrid there. And so the thing is there's other things we have, what's called return on investment. So like if I do a deck or windows or paint or a kitchen remodel, mini or major, or a bathroom, you know, there's always things that you want to do. Now, I always say, don't do everything right before you sell. Do it before you sell so you can enjoy it for a while.
Right.
And then pass it off in prep order through the eyes of the buyer. So my job is to come in, take a look at it, look through the eyes of the seller and buyer both, and come up with affordable ways to get the biggest bang for the buck so that you don't leave money on the table as a seller. And so then I have people in my portfolio that I work with that are painters, plaster, carpet, you know, electrical people, plumbers, you know, because there's always little things that we need. And if you're a homeowner, you don't always have those contacts.
Yeah.
So a guy like me, I like to work with people that operate like me, that give 110% and have the heart of a teacher, and that they're not trying to retire on one sale or retire on the job. So I'm looking at the long term and the long view so that if I provide you expert service, and from start to finish, the whole thing is expert service, that you would be kind enough to give me a review and pass my name along to your friends and family. That's really how I built my career.
All right. And so you've got that aspect of it, but then you're also the guy who has to negotiate the buying and the selling as well. And that's when your expertise and your background and your years of experience really come in.
Exactly. So it would be like anything, you know, if you had a handful of negotiations or you've had 2,000 negotiations, I think you would have an advantage with the 2,000 negotiations.
Yeah, because that tells, hey, I've been successful for these clients. And I suppose the real way to test that is to really check out those reviews.
That's a good idea. Go to DominicFonte.com, click on reviews. There should be close to 200, roughly 4.9 star. And if you read them, they have their first and last name. My mother didn't write them. It's very good. It'll explain the process. And I think a lot of times people, and this is what I heard too, is like if you help a lot of families go through the process, I don't want to get lost in that. I want to feel it's like you're my only customer. So I have systems in place to keep you informed every step of the way so that at the end of the day, you feel like you're the only customer. And that's basically the trademark, is to make you feel like we know, we're listening, and we're doing the best we can to leverage your position.
All right, Dominic Fonte and Associates, 330-418-1535. Go up to the website, DominicFonte.com. Check it out for all of the listings and what have you. And again, email and ask about that new booklet you got coming out here.
So we have the booklet coming out September 1. I'll send it to you. You can download it. Also, if you want just a quick over the internet valuation, it's no hassle. It's a lot of fun. Go to DOM, D-O-M, what'smyhouseworth.com. Put in your address. It'll send you a cool report. And if you need more information or more accurate information, and I'm not going to bug you, don't worry about that. Just reach out, get educated, be that informed decision maker when the right time comes.
Start early. Start now.
Yeah, don't waste any time. Because like I said, even though we're going into the fall, still a very good time to consider. And if nothing else, get educated about the process.
And get started, and then know when it is you're ready to go. Dom, always a pleasure having you in the studio this morning.
My pleasure. Thanks, everybody, for listening and watching.
Liking, posting, sharing, and commenting. Come get social with us.
I do like you very much.
Just click on the link at WHBC.com.
Gary